The day has come.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
It's Kendall and Claire here. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're not new around here, what is up, home skillet biscuits? So, obviously, I'm in a new area. Per my last video, I am currently in Korea. You know, I've been here for a few days, and I'm here with Claire. For those of you that don't know Claire, she's one of my best friends. She's been in quite a few vlogs, and I've been feeling, dare I say, a little nostalgic. Nostalgic for the times of story times. And because for a moment I stopped doing them because I'm a rebel. When people ask me like, yeah, I want you to keep making story times, make more story times, that's my way of saying no. I get this reversion like, I don't want to do it because people want me to do it. But recently I haven't been getting as much story time requests, and also, like I said, being in Korea, feeling a little nostalgic. So let's bring back story time. But not only are we bringing back story time, we're bringing back story time with one, a witness.
Hi.
And two, it's gonna be a two-parter. Because if we're gonna bring it back, we might as well bring it back bigger and better than ever. So today we're filming the epic, the two-part series.
This sounds like a saga.
The saga of London Guy and Dorito Boy. I have not wanted to tell the story of Dorito Boy. For those of you that remember a story I told a long time ago, because I haven't told stories in a while, I did briefly mention Dorito Boy. I don't really know why I didn't want to tell the story, because I think up until this point, a lot of my stories have been like me deflecting people. Yeah. And this one isn't, it's not my brightest moment.
You didn't deflect him. It's okay.
Okay. Let's start off with London Guy, because he's about on par to most of my stories.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember London Guy?
Very vaguely.
The thing about London Guy, though, is that
he might not have been there the entire time.
I don't think she was there the entire time. She was there for Dorito Boy.
For all of it.
Last year, during the saga of 2018, of which I vlogged much of it. Damn, I don't want to talk about the place because people are already going there now and I want fewer people to go. We went to a place that I've already mentioned before and that I really enjoy, and if you want to know what it is, you're going to have to look for it because I'm tired. I want to be anonymous.
Sounds like that's terrible.
I don't want my worst traits of me to be seen. I have an image to uphold.
She has an image to uphold. I have an image to uphold too. So please don't.
This particular place, there was a group of foreigners that came. I believe they're all students, and they were all just kind of congregating. And I remember there was this one guy. He was a black dude from London, hence the name London Guy, who started chatting me up. He was not cute at all.
At all.
Like,
he's not my type. That might be why I say he's not cute.
No, he was not cute. And here's the thing about a club. If I was just walking around day to day, I'd be like, wow, Kendall, stop being so shallow. There's more than looks. There's not more than looks in a club. There. Looks are all I have to go off of. It's not like I can hear your conversation. Like I said, he came with a group of foreigners, and I remember he was chatting me up, and one of the girls was a subscriber of mine, and she said, ignore him. I don't want you. Like, he's a lot. Just ignore him. And I was like, okay. But he came up to me and he was like, hey, do you want to dance? Yeah. Not really. But like, it was a good song. I don't remember what song was playing, but it was a good song. So I was like, okay, I'll give him a little twerk, good little something. I like lift his hand up. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do something cute. I'm going to like go in and I'm going to twerk on him, even though he kind of ugly and it's the best twerk he'll ever get in his life. So I'm like, okay, it's cool. I'll give him a little twerk something. So I'm just like mildly twerking, not even like trying anything. And he was shorter than me. I remember that. And he went and he like, perfect, I have a person. Okay, stand up, Claire.
Taller than you.
This is perfect because this is the height difference.
Oh, okay,
so imagine you twerking on me, right?
Yeah.
And now he just puts his arm around my neck and puts me back like this.
I remember this part.
Act like you're dying, Claire.
Dying?
I was choking to death, yeah.
Choke me then.
Claire's a freak. I was like, oh shit, what are you? She did that. And so I was ready to end this interaction, but as you know, I'm awkward and I'm not very good at doing like just breaking away from people. I really need to become one of those people that just like pushes.
He's very nice.
I'm too nice in how I'm like, oh no,
it's like she gives us awkward laughter.
I'm like, haha.
You like, know she's very uncomfortable.
She's like, oh yeah. I'm trying to break away, but he offers a free drink.
You look so disappointed in yourself. That laughter says everything. She looks like, why am I so stupid? It's okay.
So
it's okay.
I'm about to cry. There's actual tears in my eyes. He was like, hey yo, you want a drink? And I was like, okay. He's like, what you drinking? A Midori sour. I was on a really big Midori sour kick.
Midori sour is so good.
They're so good.
That and peach crush.
Ooh. So I was like, a Midori sour, and he couldn't hear me. He was like, what?
Does he even know what that is?
I didn't know if it was because he didn't hear me or just didn't know what that was. So it was like,
he didn't know what that was.
A Midori sour, and he's like, the fuck is that?
Yes, he doesn't know what that is. Yeah.
And I remember just thinking, oh my god, what difference does it make? Just get the drink. Okay, so I just go up to the bar and I'm like, okay, just give me a Midori sour and he'll pay for it. Oh, I do remember this part because you were nearby, and I remember you looked at me with so much judgment.
Me?
Yes, because you were like, really?
I'm sorry.
No, because it was warranted. It wasn't.
Like, I was okay. Out of my own defense, I was a bit concerned because I remember seeing the choking part, and then
how ugly he was.
It was like half judgment, half concern. More concern, but probably also judgment.
Because I read it as judgment.
It was half concern, half judgment. I was also trying to look at him to make sure he wasn't gonna kill you.
Yeah, I remember just seeing your face, and you were like,
"No,
like
don't do this, Kendall."
She was just like, "Really?
No, come back."
But honestly, I remember just looking at you. I'm like, I'm just trying to get a free drink, and she just was like, "Okay."
That's the thing. I can't believe that because I might have done that too.
Because I thought maybe you thought that I was interested in him. Okay, so you never thought that.
No.
Because the feeling I got is that you were like, really?
No.
You're interested in him?
No. This story only makes sense because you wanted that free drink. If you were actually interested in him, I would have been highly concerned about
it. It would have been very confusing and out of character.
Exactly.
I really need to figure out how to get away but still keep my drink. So I decided I'll dance with him until the drink is finished. So I was just...
Oh, I remember this part.
I was just like,
she was inhaling her drink.
The heavens parted, and he said the opening I needed. He was like, I want to dance for you. And I was like,
I remember this part.
Now you remember?
I remember this part very clearly. Because I looked up, and I was just like,
he was like, I want to dance for you, yeah?
No, you don't.
And I was like, oh, okay. He was like, well, I'm gonna do, like, he put his hands on my shoulders. He was like, what I'm gonna do? He looked me so sincerely in the eyes. He was like, what I'm gonna do, yeah? You stay here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get on top of the bar, and I'm gonna dance, and I'm gonna dance for you. I'm gonna point for you in the crowd. And I was like,
oh dear, no. Okay.
I had so many questions.
You shouldn't be doing that.
Who does that? What kind of like Neanderthal like show my strength, I'm king man on top of the bar? It really solidified that he had no idea what was going on, because honestly, if he read me at all, he would know that I would take this as a chance to no longer talk to him. Didn't he get thrown out?
I think
Did he get thrown out? Because I don't recall seeing him for the rest of the night.
He got thrown out. I think he got too rowdy at the end.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
But he got on top of the bar. The moment he turned around towards the bar, I didn't say nothing to nobody. I ain't say nothing to nobody. I just left.
I think you found me.
I found you. And I was just like, man, my tall ass go get seen, but I'm gonna just lay low. Because you know what? I think he did get kicked out. Because I remember not having to hide because I'm one of the tallest people in the room.
It's
so
really easy to see him.
It would be really easy to see me if he was looking for me.
In the middle, there's like a DJ booth.
Right.
You can't stand there.
He was like standing.
I think the DJ looked terrified too.
Because he was standing next to the DJ booth on the bar.
Because the DJ was like, if he falls on me, I'm gonna die.
It's not even that. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why
Get
are you
down?
Despite this being like an awful experience, weirdly enough, Claire.
My smile comes out. turned out nice for me too. Actually.
Luckily, it ended up being kind of the beginning of a decent night, and ended up being how I met Dorito Boy. Shout outs to Dorito Boy. You not watching this?
No, probably not. If he does, that'd be hilarious though. I really hope he doesn't. Do you think he would?
No, he doesn't speak English. He won't.
That's okay.
It won't matter. He don't notice about him. Now, Dorito Boy is a story that I never really wanted to tell. Partially because it kind of made me look a little thotty. With that said, when we were talking to Warren yesterday, he was like, well, all your stories, we assume that you cut out the first week.
Actually, not really.
Not really. I'll use Claire to testify that
Like, I was there.
there's nothing wrong with being a little thotty if you're an adult and you're making your decisions or whatever. I'm just not particularly thotty. I just am real awkward, and so I end up in a lot of awkward situations, many of which Claire has been
It's really funny.
a witness to. What makes this person particularly special, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And that's because he was fine as hell.
I think it was the contrast between.
I think it was also that the contrast between London mess. So we end with London mess, right? London guy, I presume, is kicked out of the club because I don't recall seeing him for the rest of the night. And like I said, I had met quite a few subscribers that night, and there was a lot of subscribers that night. And one subscriber in particular was this super chill chick.
She's super chill.
Super chill. That was not all the subscribers of that trip. There was a lot of very aggressive subscribers that trip. She was not one of them, so I appreciated that. I would see her several nights, but this particular night I saw her. On this particular night, it was fewer people, so they still had chairs like in the middle of the dance floor. And so I remember it was later in the night. The music's so good that I was just dancing for hours and hours, and I was just like, man, I need to sit my ass down. I'm getting really tired. So I remember sitting at one of the tables, and the subscriber was nearby. And I remember she was standing like right here as I was sitting, but she was looking this way, like across from me. And I remember just all of a sudden she says, I'm gonna go up to the bar and get some shots. Which, well, not random. It was like, it's something that people do, but it just seemed sudden, I guess.
It was a bit sudden.
And then as soon as she leaves, this Korean guy comes by. And he had an ugly friend, but we're not going to talk about him. Do you remember the friend?
Yes.
He was like short, stubby, wearing white.
Yes.
Okay, so he came in, because I saw him in the periphery of my eye. And I was like, I feel like he looking this way.
He is.
But, you know, I don't like to assume. There's nothing worse than the idea of like laying on the flirt and being like, oh yeah, you want this, and he wasn't even looking at you.
That's really awkward.
It's so awkward. So I don't like to do that. I like to be 100% sure. I did keep seeing him looking at me, and then I recalled I had actually seen this guy earlier in the day. I'd seen him while I was getting choked out by freaking London guy. While I was taking London guy's hand up, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do like my little twerk or whatever, give him the best twerk of his life, his ugly ass. Because I saw him from afar, and he was like talking to his friend, and then looking at me, and talking to his friend, and looking at me. And I'm like, who are you looking at? So when he came and sat in front of me, like knees touching, I don't think I'm wrong now. Like, I can't be. I did a live stream not too long ago talking about bits and pieces of the story, and now everybody just keep tweeting me, he was so fine. Because I said it so many times. Oh my god.
Like, he wasn't my type. But
he wasn't Claire's type.
I could totally
he was my
see
type.
Him being Kendall's type. And
because Claire likes pretty boys. I don't like pretty boys. She likes vampy, look like they die
Iris and I had the same type.
Dying pretty boys. He was
not that. It sounds weird, like hunky. You know.
Yeah, he was
nice shoulders.
He was shaped like a Dorito. That's why he has the nickname, because he was all shoulders and no waist.
That's good though.
Ooh.
He worked out a lot.
Okay.
You look like you're praying. She looks like she's in prayer.
I'm just grateful. He was tall, and he was taller than me.
He actually was taller than I was surprised.
Yeah. And tall guys usually don't like me.
I think they get intimidated.
It's I don't know if it's intimidation or more so it's just we're not used to seeing people eye to eye.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it is intimidation. It feels like you trying to fight. So, like, we this close. He was like 6'1", 6'2", pale. which usually isn't my type. And
He had glasses.
He had glasses. Ugly army haircut, but he was in the army, so that's why.
He had a nice haircut.
He would have
took off his glasses, had nice haircut. Totally her type.
I don't mind the glasses. The glasses are cute.
Okay.
Makes him look like he reads books. Such a nice jawline.
Good cut class.
Could cut diamond. Ooh. Real nice teeth. Like if he smiled to the side, a little thing would happen. Like he had some of them. He had dimples. He was so fit. He had fat nowhere on his body.
He was very fit. You could tell he worked out a lot.
Saw that army training. So when his fine ass sat directly in front of me, I was like, I don't believe it. I still don't. At this point, it wasn't so much of me like not suspecting. It's like I see this happening. I just don't believe it because he was so fine. The subscriber comes back and she has shots in hand. She hands me a shot. I'm like, thanks, girl. And then she hands him a shot. And I was like, so you've been peeping this too? I was like, oh, so she's winging. She's wingwomaning. She was being a team player.
And we barely know her.
And I did not know her. So I was like, man.
She has good noochie.
The noochie of the nights. We all drinking together and she just disappeared.
She just went to
She just disappeared. And I was like, oh. Then he stands up and he was like looking down at me, smiling with his perfect ass teeth, not with words because I assume he thought I didn't speak Korean, so he was just like, yeah, let's dance. Like he was reaching out for me, let's dance. And again, I'm like, who are you talking to? I'm like, who are you talking to with your fine ass? And I'm like, okay. So like we dancing and I'm like, oh my god, he not a bad dancer. I was like, okay, he got rhythm, hella confidence, and it was like unnerving a little bit, but
I think it's also again the contrast.
I mean, in fairness, London dude had a lot more confidence than he should have had given the situation.
But it doesn't work with like.
It doesn't.
I think you know what that means. I would witness.
Oh, no, I hope he never sees this video. Now I'm gonna feel so bad. Then we saw him other nights and he asked for my number. I forgot about that. And he kept texting me, and then eventually he asked for my number and I just didn't answer. Like I gave him my Kyle talk because I just wanted him to leave. I don't know why I thought that would make him leave. And then he would text me and I just wouldn't open them.
That's
like at all.
True.
He eventually stopped texting me.
Good.
And then when it was like really close for me to leave, I just left the conversation. Mm-hmm. But this dude had confidence in the face to match, in the body to match.
He had the whole package that worked out.
He was so fine. And he was fine with that ugly haircut. For those of you that don't know, people in the Korean army have to have this like...
It's like a buzz
It's like a buzz cut. But he had been on leave, so it had grown out a little bit.
Probably what happened was he'd been in the army for a while. So then his hair had grown out and he was on leave then.
Okay.
Because usually he didn't look like... The haircut wasn't like when you just enter. Because when you just enter, you see like a very thin layer of hair. So,
are they allowed to grow the hair?
Mm-mm. So what happens usually is like during your army period, in like about a year, your hair will probably grow up to about here. So actually most of the people who come out of the army, like the celebrities, they actually have a very nice haircut. In that like they've grown it out.
So
he's probably been
so he had been there for a while.
Mm-hmm. He had been
which
there.
Means given a year has passed, he might be out of the army now.
I think he probably is out of the army.
But I digress. He
For
stood
sure.
up. We started dancing or whatever, and he was speaking in very broken English. He was like, I'm an army guy. I'm an army guy.
It's kind of cute though.
And I was like, okay, I'm in the army. And I was like,
You gotta like him.
he was like, I'm a soldier. And I was like, okay, cool. Not super comfortable with conversation, and generally speaking, what I like to do is like, if it makes the situation more comfortable, I'll be like, I can understand you. So I told him, I was like, I speak Korean, I can understand you. And I remember he just like looked up to heaven.
He looked really happy.
He was like, oh my god,
thank you, Lord.
thank you, Lord. Again, with them beautiful ass teeth. Now, whenever you get your blessing, know that the devil always comes to steal, kill, and destroy. All the subscribers that would have ever met me ever wanted to say hi. Now, I want to say this because I don't want people to misunderstand me. I enjoy meeting my subscribers. I enjoy talking to y'all. But in this particular situation, I was surprised that nobody noticed I was busy. One girl came up to me and was like, oh my god, I love your videos. Is this your boyfriend? I'm like, I'm working on it. I'm a little busy here working on another story. And like people just kept coming up, kept one left, another person come up, one left, another person come up.
He was very surprised too.
And he was confused. He was like,
because he had no idea what you did.
He didn't, like, we hadn't, like, there would have been no time to have, like, discussed that. He was like, are these friends of yours? And I'm like, no. Like, how do I explain?
They just know me.
That I was like, I don't know what I told him. I just said, no. He noticed people kept coming up. He was like, hey, do you want to go and get a drink? And I was like, yes. He goes up to the bar, and he's over at the bar, and he's like reaching to get I'm like behind him, and he's like reaching to get the guy's attention at the bar. A non-sober state, I was just looking at his back. Good God. He was so fit. I was just laying. Get up, Claire.
Yes.
You like reaching over. He's so stiff. And reaching over the bar, right?
Okay,
and I'm just like this, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so nice. And I open my eyes, and I just see a crap ton of subscribers.
No.
And I remember just like, I think I was still holding him, and
like
I remember they came over, and I was like, hi, hello, how you doing? Okay.
Awkward laughter.
And they kept talking. I'm like, okay, I'll talk to y'all later.
I'm busy.
Blah, blah. A little busy. And so he gets the drinks or whatever. I move us to the bench. Rest in peace, bench, because it's not there anymore.
I'm so sad.
Did you notice it wasn't there? Yeah. I did. I remember because I was going to get a drink.
Normally you're allowed to sit there.
Right. And I was like,
I think it's because they wanted to make more space.
That, and I would imagine someone broke it. So this is the bar, and there was a bench that went like perpendicular to the bar. I'm gonna sit on the bench. Now there was a dude. Actually, there was a dude
already there.
There was a dude already there who just happened to end up chatting up Claire for the night.
And he was my type, so
he was her type. He was not my type.
No.
So
he was too short for her, but he was taller than me because I'm short.
He was short and pretty.
Very pretty.
Not my thing. But he was sitting there, and there was a little bit of space. And so I was like, hey, is it okay if I like sit next to you? That's what I said to the guy. He was like, yeah, it's totally fine. And he just got up completely and
then he lifted me.
And he lifted Claire. He lifted Claire on the bench, and I just sat next to Claire. If I recall correctly, there was a little bit of space. So if the guy wanted, like, if Dorito Boy had wanted to sit next to me, I feel like he could have.
He could have.
But he was like, no, I ain't gonna. I was like, oh. He's like standing in front of me. I remember him drinking. This is so weird. I'm such a weirdo. He had a nice Adam's apples too. That is the weirdest thing.
But Adam's apples,
I really like Adam's apples. He was like, he turned to the side. Oh, I have a drink. Perfect. He turned to the side, and I remember like looking at his jawline and his neck. And I was like, man, he's vascular as hell. Why is he so sexy? Why does he want me? He was so fine that it made me a little bit insecure. I feel like this whole story is basically me being like, I don't believe this is happening. For whatever reason, in my mind, I became hyper aware of his hair. Not the fact that it was ugly, because I noticed that before, but I noticed like it was wet. And I don't know why in that moment I was just super focused on. I remember focusing super tight on it. I need to stop this one particular hair from dripping sweat. I need to save his face. I need to save his face from this one particular droplet of sweat, even though he was sweating all over the place because it was a freaking glove. And I remember I just like pushed it back a little bit. Just innocent. I wasn't trying to make a move. I feel like my back hug was more of a move. And even then it wasn't really
a move
in my mind. I was just so happy. Just flicked it up off of his face a little bit. And before I knew it, his face was here. It was, ugh. And I was like, oh, so this
happened.
This is happening. This is where you come.
Yeah, hi.
So, reminder, Claire is still actually she was seated about right here. Claire's hands was on the bench. Was on the bench. And so here we are here. Like a little further apart because my hand fell like directly like right here. So like he comes in and I'm like, oh, and I fall to the side and my hand starts scratching.
And I was like, are you okay?
Because also you were talking to the guy, so she had no idea what was going on.
I was chatting up with the guy. He was a nice dude. He was good looking, pretty. He got me a drink as well.
He was super nice. Like she was having just nice conversation, and the next thing you know, I'm just grabbing her hand. The corner of my eye, I just see Claire like.
I gonna block it.
But the thing that was funny is like I held on to your hand for a long ass time.
And I was like, I just held on to it too.
I was just like, I'm holding her hand for a minute.
Like at least 10 minutes, I think.
For a long time.
Yeah.
And
my hands start to sweat. That's why.
And then the guy that Claire was talking to.
Oh no. He asked me. He was like, is your friend okay? Because he was
I kept holding
her hand. I remember saying this to him. And he understood what I said. I was like, it's moral support.
He was like, are you sure you don't want me to stop it? And she was like, don't you dare. Don't.
Your job is to get me another drink. And he did.
And then he went. Because life is not perfect and every event is not perfect, he was not a very good kisser. I'm just noticing a trend of that just in my life is like the only man I've ever kissed that was a good kisser was the scariest man. Remember the guy? Edit this out.
Yes.
Yeah, him. He was a decent kisser. But anyway, he wasn't a very good kisser. Way too much tongue. This is a thing that's completely independent of ethnicity too. I've had black dudes do it, Asian dudes do it. I've never made out with a white dude, so I don't know. But a lot of guys do it, and I don't know why. What they thought that does, but it's not good. But anyway, it was fine because he was so fine that I let it go. We're making out. Like there would be moments where I would slip, like my consciousness, like I would slip into consciousness and be like super aware of where I was and how this could look to other people. Recall, I said that there were a lot of subscribers there that night, and I kept getting so paranoid because I knew that the girls that had said hi to me when I was hugging his back, yeah, they were like literally 3 feet away from me.
They were still in the same area.
They were in the same area, and I was getting like genuinely anxious. I was like, what'll happen if like a video of me is like on the internet?
It's like streamed live.
What would my mom say? I would just start laughing because it was like a panic response. Because I would just sit there and be like, oh, that would be messed up if there was like a video of me on the internet. In the middle of like kissing, I would just start laughing just hysterically. Now, I did that several times. I remember doing that like 3 or 4 times. The last time I did it, like I actually held him back a little bit and just was like cracking up laughing. And his chest was so nice. But anyway, sorry, I held him back and I was just laughing hysterically. And he started laughing because I think he was confused also, but he was like, what? He couldn't hear me that well, so he told me to like text it on his phone. I was like, do I want to go into the whole like backstory of why this is so uncomfortable? Well, I have a YouTube channel and they are subscribers of mine. And I don't know, like them seeing me, it's kind of embarrassing. Like, I don't know what they're thinking, and I don't know if people think that this is strange that I'm doing this. Like, I'm a grown woman. I'm not very good at understanding people's perceptions of me. So I didn't know if this seemed like super out of character, and then something like that might, I don't know. I didn't explain it all like that. I just basically said, I have subscribers, they're looking at me, I'm scared of what they think, yada yada. But that's like kind of all the thoughts that were happening in my head. I remember he just looked confused, as if like, what does that matter?
He didn't really understand why it mattered.
Also, I think it was because he was just so focused on me.
He didn't see anyone else. He didn't see anyone else.
That's so adorable.
Yes. He couldn't see anyone else, but also logistically,
you couldn't see anyone.
Where the benches are, you can see the entirety of everyone.
That is so true.
And he's only seeing the wall and her.
And so he's just seeing the wall and me, and I can see like everyone's like face if they see me. Like
she can literally see everyone.
Also, if it was recorded, I'd be the only one seen.
Exactly. It's not like it was the other way around.
So like I was just super aware of it. I mean, I don't care is what he kind of said.
Yeah.
In his mind though, it was more so like, why would they care? Because we're adults and we're focused on each other.
Innocent.
And he was smooth. That's why he was dangerous. He was fine, tall, and smooth. Like,
she did well.
I did do well. I mean, well, this is how I translated it in my mind, and maybe that's why I thought it was so hot. I mean, he was like, you mine and I'm yours, so what? And I was like,
that is kind of hot.
Kinda. I was like, oh.
Do you fall for him again? 설렘 폭발. 설렘.
완전.
두근두근. 심쿵심쿵.
Okay.
Your face kind of got a little stargaze expression.
I was like, oh.
That face. at this face. I remember. I think maybe I have uncanny timing of just like looking.
She would notice like periods of situations.
Yeah, but every time I looked, her expression was continuously different.
Alright, so we just make it out again. So it was like, he did ask, did I want to go to a hotel? And I wasn't offended because given the context, I wouldn't be surprised if he thought that I would want to go. And I was like, no, it's okay. And I was like, man, he gonna be one of them dudes that realize he ain't getting no pom and he gonna leave. But he didn't. He's so great. Mm-hmm. Not that that's a very low bar.
No,
but considering context, how many guys I've like talked to and interacted with who have just been such a disappointment.
It's gotten to the point where like if a guy first asks, I think we said this with Iris too, if a guy first asks you, can I dance with you or can I buy you a drink, then I actually think that they're at least a couple notches above like trash.
Yeah, because they're not just groping.
Exactly, and they're not just grabbing your wrist. Because like I'm
or
not
filling on your booty.
Yeah.
Like he was considerate enough. He was just so fine. I'm sorry.
She's reminiscing.
Sorry, he was just so fine. We was making out for like a good 45. It was a while. How long was it?
Good 45, 50 minutes.
There came a point where he was just like laying, like his head was on my chest, and he just looked
tired.
So happy.
Surprised he wasn't tired.
He looked like a boy in a candy store. He was just like, oh wow.
He was probably happy because it happened on his leave too.
Right, he was on leave and he was going back to the military.
Exactly. I think he was going up the next day, right?
Yeah, the next day.
I mean, imagine. So
he says. I'm a skeptic, so I assume
maybe
that
not.
wasn't necessarily the case. Wow, the story is getting really long.
It's a very long story.
London boy was just a blip.
Yeah.
So he's just like laying on my chest, and I'm just there like patting his head. My like knee is in the air, right? Mm-hmm. And this Korean American dude came over, and he just like lightly taps my knee, and he was talking to you beforehand to get my attention, and when I finally saw him like gazed as this man child is on my breast just looking like this is the best day ever, he was like, I am so sorry, but you are on my back. Push comes to shove, the end of the night is drawing near. We need to get his number. And eventually I was like, oh, we should like exchange numbers. And so like I'm pulling up his Kakao Talk, like, and then he realizes he's at 1%.
Oh, yeah.
He was at 1%. He's like, hurry up, put it in there. And I was like, trying to find my name. And his phone died.
Ah,
his phone died. I was like,
ah, shit.
And my phone was in the check-in.
Yeah.
I didn't even bring my phone anywhere near.
Yeah.
So, and it was probably dead by that time.
Yeah.
So.
Because we had checked in our bags. And I think you just left your phone in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It wasn't meant to be.
No.
The day was a good day.
It ended on a very good note.
So, I think more than anything, it is the story of why I refer to men as Doritos. For the last year or so, I've been referring to dudes as Doritos. Both because they are a snack and because I like shoulders.
Mm-hmm. But they are also a good snack, so. Doritos. I actually like Doritos.
Actual Doritos. And that's the story of London guy, but mostly Dorito boy.
It was like 90%
It was
Dorito.
90% Dorito boy.
I'm surprised actually. We have good memory considering this is also like a year ago.
I'll never forget.
It was
he was so fun.
He has kind of put the standard up quite high.
Ooh, he is the standard now.
But that's hard.
Because I ain't never made... Anyway, so that's the story. It's good to be back. I am feeling super nostalgic, and then I realized the benefit of story times and the fact that it helps me not forget things that have happened. So maybe more story times in the future. I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on all my social media, Instagram and Twitter, both of which are KennieJD. I am vlogging currently, so if you want to check that out on the vlog channel, be sure to check that out, and I will see you guys next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.